The European Union, the EU assessment of the United Kingdom's UK data protection framework is what's going on here. The EU Commission previously deemed the UK's data protection adequate for data transfers. However, the EU Data Protection Board, the EDPB, has recently issued an opinion recommending further scrutiny as the UK is considering new data protection legislation. So the EU's Commission's initial draft decision, recognized that the UK's data protection laws largely align with GDPR. It also noticed that the UK's commitment to human rights and the establishment of its investigatory powers tribunal. And despite this, the EDPB has highlighted some potential weaknesses. They recommended monitoring the UK's evolving data protection laws for any divergence from EU standards. And concerns also exist around onward data transfers to the UK and really, the necessity and proportionality of certain data processing exceptions. So what recently has happened on May 5th, the EDPB agreed to extend the sunset clause for the UK's adequacy decision to December 27th of this year. So this extension follows the introduction of the UK's Data Use and Access Bill, which is proposing amendments to existing data protection laws. And the idea behind the extension is to provide time for the UK's legislative process to conclude and allow the EU Commission to reassess the UK's legal framework once these new laws have been analyzed. Currently, the existing adequacy decision for the UK from 2021 remains in effect. And so while the EU initially found the UK's data protection adequate, the EDPB is recommending careful monitoring, especially as the UK is developing its own data protection policy. So, for example, like some of the objectives of the UK data bill is to enhance transparency and trust in data handling, support innovation and market competition, provide those clear rules for data access and verification services, and then also strengthen safeguards needed for sensitive data and automated decision making. So they really just want to see how this process plays out. And, the key thing for companies is just, keeping informed, understand like which data flows would be impacted by any potential changes. We'll know more towards the end of this year.